Yes, yes. What a time. Conversations of the Heart, Season 2, Episode 25. Talking money, y'all. Fourth Quarter Finances Part 2, featuring Coach Britt. She's an amazing finance coach. And we're going to get into this conversation right quick. So we're not going to waste no time. She's already here. Let me just tap her in real quick. Come on, Gwen. See you, Gwen. Oh, what happened? She was just here. Marino, what's going on, boss? All right, I think she's back. She's here. Just waiting for her to come on.
Hi.
There she is. There
I'm
she
not
is.
sure what's
What's
going
going
on.
on?
How you?
Ah, wow. I don't know what's going on either. I just lost her again. Gwen, not much. It's good to see you. We got to chop it up real quick, Gwen. We're going to talk. Let's see what happens. See if I can get it back on here.
Okay. I hope everything's all right.
I say, well, what's going on over there?
I can't get this. You know what it is? Hi,
What?
everybody. I can't get the request to be in the live video. I can't get it off my screen. Every time I try to get it off my screen, it's covering like my whole face. I can't see the comments, anything right now.
Really?
Yeah, I can't get it on my
Uh,
screen. And then when I press it, like if I press one of the buttons, it won't it ends up taking me off your screen again. So that's
mm,
what was going
all
on. So
right.
I'll just leave it. It's okay.
Yeah. All right. So that means what it's telling you is don't touch nothing.
Yeah, I'll just
Don't
leave it.
touch a thing. So first of all, thank you for coming on and doing this as always. Um, but a lot of things have changed since the last time we spoke. Like you out here bossing up. Your platform is growing. You're doing a lot of things.
Hmm.
Checking out your YouTube and I'm like, man, like yo, like she's killing the game right now. Like for real, you killing it. And I gotta give you your props, you know what I'm saying? Because, like you've definitely taken a lot, from the last time we spoke and we did a show together and you went all the way up. You know what I'm saying? Like
Trying to
you out here.
grow. Just trying to grow.
Nah.
And just
No,
trying to
no,
help
no.
more people.
But there's a difference. You're
Hmm.
not trying. You're doing. There's two different things, you know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
definitely congratulations to you. So
Thank
that's
you.
really that's where I want to start.
Okay.
First, for the people who don't know who you are, please tell them who you are, what you do,
Okay.
and where they can find you.
Okay. Awesome. So I'm a financial coach, but first I'm a mom of four and a wife. And my husband and I kind of started this journey with our desire to build generational wealth for our family. So from
Mm,
there, my channel and everything else was kind of spawned, Plan Your One Life, which is all about planning that one life that we have to live.
hmm
You have to decide what you're going to do with your life. Are you going to plan it out so that way you can achieve your goals and dreams, or are you just going to just go through the motions and go through life? So that's what I
mm,
try to show and help people with, is share with them, listen, this is your one life. What do you want to do? If these are the things that you want to do, let me help you plan those goals out step by step. I say take those baby steps. Don't go from A to Z.
mm,
And we'll
hmm
work together to try to achieve them. And mainly I deal with financial stuff, trying to help people with budgeting their money, getting rid of their
hmm
debt, and then getting to building their wealth. So I'm on YouTube, I'm on here on Instagram, and all over, wherever they want me to be to help people with their finances.
So it's YouTube at Plan Your One Life.
Plan Your One Life hyphen personal finance on YouTube. Yes.
Awesome. And on here and on Facebook, it is Plan Your One Life.
Yes.
Um, so talk a little bit about, well, first of all, I learned something new. I didn't know you had 4 children. I didn't know you had 4. Um, no, you look amazing. Like you're 4, like that's amazing. And you're doing your thing. So to manage a family, you know, with a husband and 4 children, and be building your business too, it's incredible to what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Because I know it's not easy, but you know, but that goes to show you, if you want to do something, if you really want to do something, and if you want to build, it doesn't matter what your circumstances are. You can have 1, 2, 3, 4 kids, a husband, a whole household, and you can still make it happen.
Definitely.
So you're definitely a testament to that. And so talk to me a little bit about the Achiever Money Mindset Club. Okay. I want to know more about it.
So that's a new club. That's my baby. I say that's my
fifth one. All right.
Because
fifth one.
that's my support group. So it's a club that I created so that way we can support each other. It's for men and women, people of all ages. You can be 67 years old and just trying to build some wealth or get rid of your debt. You can be 18 years old. You can be 25. You can have, you know, $300,000 in student loan debt. It doesn't matter. We're all trying to help each other out, to get rid of our debts and to build wealth. And we're there to help each other out, to share with each other the different ways that you can pay off debt, the different ways that you can build wealth, because there are several ways, right? There's not just one path. We can have several different paths to get to the same goal, right? So this is what that group is about, to support each other, because as we know, right, most of the time, most people don't have many people that they can discuss personal finances with. A lot of times family members don't want to talk about it, right? They want to hide those numbers, those amounts, or they just want to not talk about, sweep it under the rug. And so this way, everyone has an environment where they can feel comfortable. You can have some snacks. You can drink some wine, sip on lemonade if you're not, into alcohol. That's fine too. But it's a relaxed environment where you can feel comfortable discussing your personal finance goals, and we can help each other. That's what that club is all about.
And that's dope. Because it's so important, because, you got to be honest, a lot of the reason why a lot of people don't feel comfortable, especially with their families, is because respectfully, a lot of family members got big mouths. You know what I'm saying? Like, you tell somebody one thing and then the family members in the Caribbean or South Carolina somewhere know all your business. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just like, it doesn't feel like a safe space sometimes, because it's like, oh, well, I didn't know so-and-so had this much this and this much that, and I didn't know. And then it goes from that person. And it's crazy. Yeah. So for you to be able to provide a safe space in that way, especially for the community too, I think it's super amazing. Definitely. And people should definitely, absolutely go check that out. And on the lines of building a business and building, because, a lot of people have different reasons why they don't get started, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to get to the finances in 1 second, but I think this is important too. So a lot of people have reasons why they can't get started or they won't get started. But here you are, handling a household, a husband, 4 kids, and you're still creating, right? So can you just tell, like, what's the inspiration behind that? You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I think that's really important for people, because they might be going through something, or, they think, there's not enough hours in the day. You hear that, I'm sure, right? And I'm sure you feel that. And I'm sure you feel that way too, right?
Yes, I have my days.
I know. You know what I'm saying? But tell the people, explain to people how important it is that if you have a dream or have a goal, to just start.
Yeah.
So what was your inspiration behind that?
My inspiration was my parents. I'll say that's where it all really started, especially with finance. My father, I saw that he didn't have enough money to retire with. He ended up having to go on Social Security, and I can say that because I know he would be comfortable with me saying that. He wouldn't be upset.
Right.
And my mother, unfortunately, she passed away a few years ago from cancer. And when she passed away, she left my brother and I a 401k. So we were the beneficiaries of this 401k plan. And when we received the money from it, I realized how little it was. I was very appreciative, of the money. Like any bit of money that my parents were going to leave to me was awesome. I was happy about that. But it also really brought me into a reality of thinking about what how much money, you know, what do I need for retirement? How much money do I really need for retirement? And seeing that she didn't have, it wouldn't have been enough money, let's say, to last to the rest of her life. Definitely not. Wouldn't have been enough. So that made me, that kind of kickstarted everything, saying, you know, had me start looking at my accounts, all of my retirement accounts, my savings accounts, my investments. What am I doing to ensure that I'll be able to retire one day and live comfortably, be able to do all the things that I want to do? And even now, what do I need to do? What haven't I been doing? And so that's kind of sparked everything. And then I started thinking about my kids too. What do I want to leave for them? So this way they can also have a jump start. They can be ahead of everyone else when they become an adult. What can I do for them? That I noticed also from friends around me at that time. What did their parents give them that I wasn't given that helped them out? So all these things together during that time sparked my interest really into finance and saying, you know what, it's time to really get into it and learn and figure it out for myself.
Right. Because I think it's important to understand that it wasn't always like that, right? Like, I'm sure, you know, not to get too personal, but like when you first got married, like, you know, sometimes people feel like, oh, you know what, like I have this, that, I have this, that when I get married or have kids or whatever stage they're at, right, in their life, that, you know what, it's just it's too much to deal with, like, you know, and they get discouraged because finances can really discourage, it can discourage people, you know, and honestly can affect your mental health too, right? So a lot of times they feel like, oh, well, I have to be in a perfect place in order to get started with something, right? Like I have to have this amount of money to start my business. And sometimes it's just like, no, sometimes you got to go. Sometimes
you just got to go for it.
You could be in some debt, right? You could be in debt, but start your business, right? You know, and push, you know, like you miss, oh, well, I have a couple kids. I can't, you know, I got to just do this 9 to 5, which that's fine, but I can't work on my business outside of my 9 to 5. And it's like, no, like, you got to get started.
You have to.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what you represent, you know what I'm saying? So I just want to salute you for that, because you're an incredible example of that. So with that said, let's start because we're in the fourth quarter. You know, we're about 2 weeks into the fourth quarter, right? And what would be some of your budgeting tips going in now that we're in the fourth quarter, going into 2022? It's crazy as that even sounds.
I know.
Like, what would be some of your budgeting tips going into 2022 to finish the quarter strong?
Okay, so one of the things that I tell people is, well, what's coming up next? You know, I ask people, what's coming up next? What's coming up next? We have Halloween. Not everybody celebrates that, but what are the major holidays? We have Thanksgiving, we have Christmas, we have New Year's, right? But the two main ones I would say are Thanksgiving and Christmas, especially in the US, right? So I asked them, do you have enough money saved for your Thanksgiving dinner? Do you have enough money saved for Christmas dinner, for Christmas presents, right? And the reason why I say this now, you may think, oh, Thanksgiving dinner is no big deal. But if you've seen most of these Thanksgiving dinners and Christmas dinners, right? They cost a lot more. Everybody's coming over to the house. So it can really blow your budget if you don't have enough money budgeted for your groceries. So I'd say, listen, maybe you want to save an extra $10 or $15 a paycheck. So this way, when Thanksgiving comes, when it's time for the shop for those groceries for Thanksgiving, you have enough extra money set aside and you won't blow your paycheck and then have to wait until the next paycheck and be broke. And then the next one would be Christmas, the same thing for dinner, and then also for the presents. Because what do a lot of people do? And I'm guilty of it in the past. I've done it where I scramble the last couple of paychecks and I just would go and buy a bunch of presents and then be broke. I'm struggling from paycheck to paycheck again because I'm trying to buy all these presents. So that's another thing I try to tell them, and I've been saying it even on my Instagram and my YouTube channel. Actually, my YouTube channel since July, and saying, please start putting away some money now if you haven't. Now, I actually save throughout the year, so that way by October, I already have the money for my.
I think that's what my mom used to do. That's what my mom used to do back in the day. Yeah. She used to be ahead of the game. Mom's doing better. Yeah,
of course. So that's what I recommend to them. So I try to let them know, listen, before it comes up. And then the next goals that I would say, the other things, the more important ones for retirement, right? What is your 401k looking like? What is your traditional IRA looking like? What is your Roth IRA looking like? Have you put money into those and you still have time? Now, a lot of people don't realize too that you can actually put into your 401k and your Roth IRA all the way up until April 15, 2022. You can put up every year. It's always until the next year, but it's for 2021. So you can put some money into your 401k and say that it's for 2021 in, let's say, February 2022. You have up until April 2022, April 15th, 2022 to put that up. And anybody can look that up for themselves. Every year it's the same thing. And even with the Roth IRA. So you do have some extra time, but really you should be starting to put money into that 2022 fund, right? Retirement accounts. So right now I would say, look at that and see what you're doing. And if you're going to get any bonuses, I know with everything going on, there's a lot of people that have lost their jobs. So they might not even be getting any bonuses. But let's say you're one of the few lucky ones and you're getting a bonus. Well, then take that bonus and put it into your retirement. Take that bonus and put it into investments. It's the end of the year. Use it for that, something that's going to give you a return on your investment in the future versus just throwing it away.
Right. Okay. Good stuff. And I think, you know, a lot of people have heard of, you know, 401ks, but, you know, but even with IRAs, sometimes people, even that can be foreign for certain people, like a Roth IRA, a Roth IRA, like what is that? You know, so definitely that's something to look up too, to get to, because most people just kind of just depend on their 401k only.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know, great. So now, when do you start preparing for the fourth quarter? I mean, excuse me, the first quarter for 2022. Like, when do you start preparing as far as financially for 2022?
For me, well, I start now. I start now. I'm already preparing, writing down, and I would say not necessarily putting money away, right, for those first quarter goals for 2022, but at least writing them down. So I can already have a plan ready for what I want to do, right? Because to me, not everybody does it, but I think it's best to write down the goals and write specific goals. Whatever your financial goals are, or any goal, you know, per se, just write it down, because then you have it clearly written out. And so that way you know exactly what it is that you want to achieve. Because a lot of people say, I just want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do that, but it's not clear, right? And this way you can clearly see, okay, and this is what I want to do, and then start thinking about how do you want to actually do it, so that way you can prepare for when you want to actually do it, right?
Very, very true. I know some people start their goals in, like the third quarter. Some people start in the third quarter. Some people start in, like, you know, from June or you know, just to prepare for 2022. So that's great that you can actually start to prepare. And that make it seem daunting for some people, because it's like, oh man, so I gotta start preparing. I gotta try to close out the fourth quarter and put money here and save here and put money there. And now I gotta think about the first quarter. But I think, you know, but it's all necessary. And it's all the things that you got to do, and not even just financially, but just anything, like whatever goals that you have, you know, start thinking about them for 2022 and getting them down. But sticking to finances, what are some pitfalls to avoid in the fourth quarter? You know, as you said, a lot of things is coming up. A lot of things are coming up. But what are some of the pitfalls to avoid in the fourth quarter that you don't just stumble and fall into the first quarter with?
Well, what do we have? One of the things that everybody wants to do after Thanksgiving, Black Friday, right? Everybody wants to go shopping.
Not me.
Not you.
You're not catching me in them crowds. I tell you, those days are over. Those days are over. Those days are over. I'm too old for that. I'm not waking up that early anyway.
Me neither. I'm not waking up that early either. The TV is not that serious.
Nah, I'm good.
But yeah, so I tell them, listen, be careful with Black Friday or those. I noticed, what else I've seen a lot of Amazon. They have those Amazon Prime days.
Cyber Monday, Cyber Monday, that's big on the Black Friday. Then they have Cyber Monday and stuff like that. Yep.
So they have all these deals, right? And I say deals because most of them aren't really deals, I've noticed.
Mm.
sometimes it's best check, if you really want a deal and it's something that you budgeted for ahead of time,
Mm-hmm.
then check at least a month or two before Black Friday or Cyber Monday, right? Or those Amazon Prime days, and see what the actual price is of the item that you want to buy. So that way you can see once those, sale days come up, if you're really getting a deal or not. And if you budgeted for it, then you're good to go. But if you didn't, don't blow the budget just for, a new TV
Mm-hmm.
or something like that. Because a lot
I
of those
get
deals
it.
are fake anyway. They're not, I've noticed that. A lot of them are fake. They'll say, oh, we dropped it down. And no, that was the regular price. They just increased the regular price.
You
So it
increased the
looks
regular
like
price.
it's on sale. And it's
Yep.
not. And you think
Yo,
you're getting a
that's
deal.
so true. That's so true. They do that all the time. They hike
Oh
up the
my.
regular prices and then like, oh yeah, now it's this, and it's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
But also like, but going back to what you said earlier though,
Mm-hmm.
if you plan, let's just say Christmas shopping or whatever the case is,
Mm-hmm.
during the year, you might can catch some other deals,
Yeah.
right? Like while you're saving,
Exactly.
and you might can start your Christmas stuff early.
Early.
You might be done by October.
Yeah.
And you don't have to go out in these in the craziness
crowds or
of
anything. Yeah.
Best Buy and all of that, waiting online for phones and
Oh God.
TVs and stuff like that. Like I just don't have the patience for it. And maybe I'm just getting a little older, but
Mm-hmm.
it's just not for me.
I have
It's not.
because I have friends that still do it, and I'm just like, same thing. It's not for me either. I just can't wait online at like 4 o'clock in the morning,
That's out of order.
or
I'm not
like
gonna lie to you.
12 o'clock at night on things. The day after Thanksgiving, 12 a.m. I can't do it. I've done it in the past, but I can't do it anymore.
My thing is, back in our parents' day,
Mm-hmm.
I could understand that because there was no internet like that.
Yeah.
There's no online shopping. There's no 2-day shipping. There's not. So it's like, yo, if I want to get this toy for my son or my daughter, if I want to get this trace, whatever it is, I gotta get there for real,
Yeah.
at the time, and that's it. Now it's like, why are we outside like camping out? And I'm in New York, so it's it's by that time it's gonna be like 30 degrees. Why are we camping outside? Like, I could have ordered this online and have it sent to the house. Like, what are we talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And then after the Black Friday sales, then everybody does their Cyber Monday sales. So you can still get the same thing sent to your house.
Yeah.
Way before Christmas. So I never understood, in our generation of why we're so still getting up at 3 a.m, midnight, and all of this stuff, camping out. Just for what you can get online, I don't know. But yeah, but you're right. Because what happens also is when you cram, because you mentioned earlier, is when you really cram and you try to get all of your gifts all at once.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you forget sometimes the people you have to get gifts for, because now, of course, you remember, like your kids and stuff, like your husband or whatever. That's easy stuff. Your spouse, that's simple.
Mm-hmm.
But then you're like, oh, I have godchildren. Oh, man, I have my friend, or I have my uncle or my aunt. I have
so many more.
And then now it's like, oh man, it's like, oh, my friends have kids and I normally get them stuff. And then it's like, and then forget.
Yeah.
And then forget if you have family members whose birthdays on Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Like, or around that time, right?
You can just blow everything, and then your paycheck is gone. Your
New Year is gonna look very, very small, very skinny. It's gonna be looking different. And then there is New Year's, right? People like to go out. People like to travel. I know the climate we're in now. You may travel, you may not travel, whatever it is that is. But for the most part, a lot of people do. They like to, and it could be a road trip. It could be somewhere, right?
Even to go see family for the holidays.
Exactly. And that stuff all costs. That all costs money. Yeah. And it's so close to each other. They're a week apart. So it's literally so important that you do plan this stuff out.
Yes.
So that you don't kill yourself and you don't kill your budget.
Stress yourself out.
Yeah, because no matter what anybody says, the next year is coming. And if you have kids, they're going to need stuff for school. They're going to have trips. they're gonna have things that they need to get, right?
Yep.
And those things are still gonna be there. You're still gonna have your regular bills. You still gonna have unexpected bills,
Yep.
obviously, right? So that's a lot of things that could go on. So let me ask you about emergency funds.
Mhm.
So, this has been a pretty good topic. I spoke about it last week as well with Jeffrey, Joel, but emergency funds. What percentage do you think that you should give towards each check to emergency funds?
That I don't actually tell people a certain percentage because I think it's really
Okay,
based
okay,
on your overall budget. It
right.
depends on what your bills are. Everybody's bills altogether is the picture, I'll say the picture of finances
Hmm.
is a little bit different. So
Hmm.
based on your budget, it depends on how much extra money that you have left over. That's the way I look at it
Hmm.
because I do believe in paying yourself first, right? But at the same time, we
True.
have to be in reality. You have to have your four walls covered first. You have to have a
Hmm.
roof. You have to be able to have clothes on your back, food, and so on, right? And transportation to get to and from work. So in order to have these things, you have to take care of those first. Otherwise, you won't have money coming in, right? You won't have that
Hmm.
paycheck coming in order to even be able to put money towards an
Hmm.
emergency fund. So
Hmm.
it depends on how much their bills are. Once you figure out, this is the way I look at it for emergency fund. How much does everything cost you, right? Everything that you need for 1 month, whatever that is, multiply that by 3 to about 6 times that, and that's how much you need to save. And then every paycheck, allocate a certain percentage that will automatically be taken out of your paycheck and transferred over to your emergency savings account. That's what I say. I always suggest that. I prefer that rather than, okay, I get my check and now I'm going to take the cash out the bank and put it on the side. The only reason why I say, unless you're really good with your cash, what happens is sometimes what people do, they'll have the cash sitting there and then let's say something comes up, oh, I'll just grab it, right? But if it's
Hmm.
in a bank
Hmm.
account, you kind of have to go to the bank account most of the right. You have to mostly go to the bank to get it out most of the time, right? You can
Hmm.
still use a debit card, let's say, but it's a little bit more going on. So that's why I say
Hmm.
don't leave the cash there. The other reason is if you have it automatically transferred when you get paid, it's taken out already. You don't even
Hmm.
see it; it's gone. So that way you don't even think about being able to spend that money because you can't. It's
Hmm.
gone already.
Hmm.
So I feel like
Hmm.
that makes it a little bit easier for people to save for their emergency fund. So again, that can be whatever percentage. It all depends on how tight your budget is. Sometimes people's budget is a little tight. I can't tell them,
It's true.
15%, 20% if they have a lot
Spe-
going on. Maybe a spouse lost their job. Maybe they lost their job, right? And they're on unemployment and they don't have that same amount that they had before to be able to save for an emergency fund. So I say it's based on what their actual income is and the total of their bills, what they have left over, and then we can go from there.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in New York. There are a lot of people in New York. Everything's expensive here.
Oh
So like a lot of
yes,
people, they live check to check.
it's
You know what I mean? Like
yes,
that's like almost like a normal thing, like in
yeah.
like in New York especially. So that's really good advice.
Mm,
Now you mentioned earlier about like you and your husband getting together and you guys talk about generational wealth,
yeah.
and building something,
Mm-hmm.
right? So what are some wealth building tips, that you think that you can give out to the people,
Okay.
that has helped you, on your journey, help you and your husband, on your
Mm.
journey?
So one of the things I feel like that helped us at first was to get rid of all of our consumer debt. So that
Mm,
included our credit cards. We had personal loans in the past. We had payday loans. We had car loans. All right, pretty much
yeah.
anything you can name, we had it. Okay, so that's the first thing I would recommend is to pay those off. Right now,
Mm,
I'm not a fan of, let's say, the Dave Ramsey Club. Okay, I used to be, but
okay.
with Dave
Okay.
Ramsey Club, what they do is they tend not to. Dave Ramsey tells them don't invest, right? Don't put this extra money to savings and retirement and so on. Just have a $1,000 emergency fund and that's it until you pay off all of your debt. I don't agree with that. I think
Mm,
that you should still be investing and still be
mm,
putting money into your retirement account while you're paying off your debt. The reason why is because you're never going to get back that compound interest. You're never
mm,
going to get that back, right? The time value of money. You need that time to be able to increase the value of your money. It takes time to get that compound interest, right? You don't want to wait. Let's say it takes you 10 years later. You lost 10 years, 10 years of interest, compound interest that you could have gotten that could help you in your retirement or help you with something else later on. So that's what I say is they should do. And pay off, like I said, pay off the debts first, get rid of those. I recommend getting rid of the smallest debt first because I feel like it builds up that momentum. It's not necessarily the most logical way, okay? Because they say you really should pay off your high interest debt first because then you're paying less towards interest, right? Paying money to the bank the other way around. But I say, let's pay off the smallest debt first because I feel like it builds up the momentum. You get that sort of, what they say, the debt snowball rolling. And there you go, you start knocking them out, and then you feel good about paying off that first debt. Then you can knock out the next one and the next one and the next one and so on until you get rid of them. But while you're doing that, allocate a percentage. And I say, if you have some sort of employer match with your job, with your retirement account, and your employer is giving you an employer match, definitely try to at least match that at a minimum and put that away into the account until once you get rid of all those debts and you can increase it, slowly increase it so you don't really feel it with every paycheck. Because if you just jump, right, let's say from 5% to 15%, you're going to feel it and you're just going to be like, oh my God, it's too much money. But if you do 1% 1 month and, jump in another 1% the next month, so on, eventually you'll get to that 15% coming out of your retirement. I would say at least 15% coming out of your paycheck to go towards your retirement accounts. And
that's good advice too. And I know you mentioned like when you and your husband first got together, whatever the case is, you both had loans and personal loans and credit card debt and all of this stuff. But that's something that you guys decided to tackle together, which is pretty dope. And sometimes it's very important because sometimes people might be afraid of that. It's like, I just want somebody that's debt free, but almost nobody in America. I mean, I'm not nobody, but a lot of people, a high majority of people in America have some type of debt, especially if you went to college. You know what I'm saying? And most of the time, if you went to college, you had a credit card. And if you had a credit card, then you started doing certain things with the credit card, paying certain things.
They were giving out, for the people, remember when they were giving out, I always tell people, they used to give out free, pizza and t-shirts and hats.
That's so true. That is so true, man. But that's how people kind of survive sometimes. It's like that little student card, like that little student.
To get you by.
That's so true. But that's really good. And to see just the progression, just from what you're telling me, just based off from when you guys first started out, to now where you are now, where you're actually now taking what you've actually already have done and you've applied, and now you're giving it to the masses and for the community. So that's really, really dope that you guys, especially you, are doing that. So besides that, paying off, the early credit card, I mean the smaller credit cards, which actually is smart also because it gives you that boost of morale too. Like it just gives you that sense, like mentally, that, oh man, I just paid off this. Like it's like amazing, right? It's just like when you start working out, you don't go to the gym and say, I'm about to bench press 150.
No,
you're gonna find out the hard way that that's not what's gonna happen. Like it's not gonna happen. Right. So you can say, oh, I'm gonna just start off and just attack the biggest debt, and then you realize like, oh man, like this isn't what I can't do that yet, right? And then that's more discouraging, right? But when you do chip away and you start paying off those smaller debts, and then you work your way up, you know what I'm saying? It's like you're building muscle, right? Like little by little, like you're building yourself up to where now at some point you will be able to bench the 150.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And you will be able to pay off that big debt, but it was a progression that went from here to here. So that's really good advice, in my opinion. So thank you for that.
Awesome.
So what other wealth building tips do you think that you have besides paying off, in addition, to paying off your consumer debt?
Other wealth building tips is also to invest in other things, right? So not just your retirement, but also have a separate brokerage account, invest in the stock market on your own, actually take the time to learn about it. I always tell people there are tons of books out there. There's books for everything, right? So take the time, and even if you just read a little bit every day, just read a little bit, maybe one definition. What does options mean? You know, what does ETF mean? What does it mean exactly? So, and then start looking at the charts to see what it means, and then eventually you'll understand it, right? Because a lot of people say, oh, well, I don't invest. Most people tell me the reason why they're afraid to invest is because they don't understand it. Well, then now that means take the time to do it, because it is going to be beneficial for you if you want to build that wealth. Also, I say look into real estate. Now, some people don't like it. I have rental properties, and for me, I like it because I'm diversifying. I don't want to just be invested in the stock market. And there's different ways also to invest in real estate. Now, I own the properties, right? my company owns the properties through me. That's a whole nother legal thing, right? You learn those legal things, protect your assets. So I have those properties, but at the same time, there's other ways you can invest in REITs, which are real estate investment trusts. And there's all sorts of common stock that you can invest in the real estate sector. So there's also ways to invest in real estate that way if you want to do that. But you have to diversify, invest in numerous things, invest in a business. And again, if you don't want to start your own business, I totally understand that. It is not easy. Okay, it is not easy, right? It's not easy. It's a lot of work to get it off, right? Right? You want it to fly into the sky, right? To get off the land, to grow. It's not easy. So I understand when people say, "Oh no, I don't want to be an entrepreneur." You may love your job. You may love your job, and I think this is awesome, especially if you have a 9-to-5 that you love, great benefits. Do it, but don't just depend on that income. That's part of building wealth. Never think that they won't fire you. Okay?
That's
never
a fact.
think that. A lot of people feel that way. Oh, they love me. They're friends with the boss. Well, let me tell you something. That boss has a boss, and that boss doesn't know you. And if for whatever reason they need to downsize, bye-bye. You're bye.
Yep.
And I hate to tell people that it's a reality. And it's something I faced myself where I was like,
absolutely,
that could really happen. This one's going today.
Yes.
What's going on? You know?
Yeah. Your favorite boss could get fired, and now you're done. You're done after that.
Exactly. And then you're by yourself. So that's another thing I tell people. This is another reason why you have to invest. You know, get that brokerage account, get that IRA, if Roth IRA, if your job doesn't offer it, if you have to get it on your, open it up. Think about what type of things you want to have when you retire. What type of things do you want to have, maybe even early retirement? A lot of people are doing that now with the FIRE movement. But what can you do to build that wealth, right? And it always is some sort of investment. You have to sacrifice today for tomorrow, right? You have to sacrifice some of your present, not all of it, but some of it for the future. You know,
correct.
If you want to be able to travel more, right? If you want to leave stuff, right? You don't have to have kids, but maybe you have nieces and nephews, right? Godchildren that you want to leave something for them. Then you have to put your money into things that's going to grow you more money. That's the only way to do it. Invest in a business, maybe invest in a franchise, or meet with small business owners and invest in their business. Learn about the business, and then maybe allocate a certain amount of funds to invest in their business, and you draw up a contract with a lawyer, and this is how much eventually, right, that you're going to get as your return on investment. But that is the only way to build that wealth. You have to invest. And there's many ways, but invest.
Yeah, there is. Definitely true. So the comment that says, if you don't like physical real estate, you can invest in mortgage notes where you are the bank. You own the papers that is secure by real estate. Yeah, for sure.
I agree with you. Yes, there's many ways. There's definitely many ways. Yes.
So, so let's go back a little bit. So, we're talking about building wealth, and that's an amazing thing, because that's something that's always a good topic for us, especially in the community. But let's take it back to just to brass tacks a little bit, to where it's like where somebody is saying, hey, man, you talking about wealth building, and that's cool, man, but like, I am drowning in certain debts. Like, I'm living however way I'm living, and I can't even see myself like get out of this particular debt, or whatever it is, or it could be getting a better paying job, or whatever it is, because that also can go along with you too, right? Getting yourself in a position to where you're making more money, right?
That sometimes that's
And
necessary. Sometimes it's not.
right,
Sometimes it's a money problem, right?
right, right,
Mm-hmm.
right. And it's like you may not want to ask for the raise. You may not want to ask for, like, oh, like when I go out for this new job, like, can I really negotiate my salary? Because you're just happy to have something, right?
I
You just have like,
see
yo,
that.
I
Yeah.
want them to tell me no. I don't want them to tell me no and rescind this here offer. So I'm just gonna say yes, right?
Yeah.
So there's importance in understanding your worth and understanding your value and understanding that you're like, I can't ask for the raise. I
Yes.
can negotiate my own salary. That's within my right. And to come to a compromise with these companies, because a lot of these companies are going to do what's in their best
Oh yeah.
interest,
Of course.
right?
Yeah.
Right. So that could be an issue too, of course, but there could be just somebody that just says, hey, listen, I can't even think about wealth right now. Like I'm just trying to pay my phone bill, or I'm just
Mm-hmm.
trying to pay my mortgage, or I'm just trying to get my kids through school.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so what's a word for them?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what
Mm-hmm.
would you tell somebody like that that's in that position?
I would ask them what are their dreams? That's what I usually start with. Not goals, but
Mm,
what are your dreams? What do you
mm,
dream of? Right?
mm,
And whatever those dreams are, that's where I start. And then I say to them,
mm,
those dreams, right? Most of the time,
mm,
there's always some dreams it's not possible. But let's say most of the time, 99% of the time, your dreams are possible. The only thing that is stopping you is you. That's
mm,
it, point blank, right? It's you.
mm,
So you have to start to make certain changes to be able
mm,
to achieve those dreams. And then again, I start with, okay, what are the first steps that you would have to do to be able to achieve those dreams, right?
mm,
And if you usually start with the baby steps, right, the
mm,
smaller steps,
mm,
usually they're easily attainable.
mm,
And then that's how I work with them from there. What is their goal, right? Let's say the goal is to travel, I don't know, to India, right? They want to go to
mm,
India, but it costs a ton of money, right? The flight is going to cost, let's say, over $2,000, and the hotel
mm,
is going to cost another, $1,000. Let's say it's $3,000, but for them, right, it's not within their budget. They can't see
mm,
spending that much money on a trip because maybe they make minimum wage. Well, what I
mm,
will say to them, well, what can you save per paycheck?
mm.
What do you have left over? What do you spend on takeout? What do you spend on when you go out? What do you spend on
Oh,
clothes? The things
oh
that,
man,
and I'm not
she
talking
just
about
turned the
work
tables
clothes.
on me.
Huh?
I said you just turned the tables on me. You said what you spend on takeout? I said, oh, she talking to me. I don't. We can't even look at my Uber Eats account right now. Hey, man, hey, you gotta
I need to see
hey,
these
keep that to
receipts.
yourself.
I need these
Keep that.
receipts.
Let's keep that between me and you. All right.
But
Mr. C, what's up, man?
yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
that's usually where I'll start. What are things that you spend money on a daily basis? Pretty much where you throw money away, right?
Mm-hmm.
And right, you can buy clothes that you want, all these things, but and I have to say to them, well, how much are you spending on these clothes? Let's say they have
Mm-hmm.
an extra $400 left over
Mm-hmm.
that is that's not needed, meaning not for the groceries, not to pay their bills, right? It's just money they spend to buy clothes on a whim when they go shopping or takeout. So that's why I say to them, well, you can still have a takeout and still have those clothes that you want. But
Mm-hmm.
those extra things that you're spending money on that are not necessary, they're killing your dreams. You're literally killing your dreams every day by doing that. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll say to them, yes, enjoy your life, but let's budget and create an amount. This is the amount that I'm going to spend on takeout because, again, enjoy yourself, right? But let's say it's $300. Okay, takeout for the week is going to be maybe $60 or $70.
Mm-hmm.
Clothes, I'll allocate 100, maybe 150, right? And then what's left over, that's going towards their savings for travel. And then I'll say, okay, every paycheck or every other paycheck, depending on, right? Because it depends on how the bills come in, they're, different days of the month, right?
Of
So
course.
that's what I'll say to them. Okay, and now if you do this every paycheck or every other paycheck, let's see, how much will you have in 2 months? How much will you have in 3 months? And then how many months will it take you to attain your goal of the $3,000?
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? So that's how
I
I
do.
try to break it down for them to see that their dreams are attainable. Your dreams are attainable. You just have to break it down and see how you can make it happen.
Mm.
And a lot of people don't break it down. They just see that dream that's all the way in the sky, right? Because it seems far away. And trust me, like the goals that I have, they're far away, right? So the way I break it down by year, then I break it down by month, and then I break it down by, I would say by my own paycheck, right? What can I do every paycheck to get to it? And then I try to look at it, right? I have it written down, and then I try to look at it on my chart and in my planner and see how far have I come. Okay, I've come this far. That means I can go further. That means I can go further. And slowly, before you know it, you're getting closer to achieving your goals and your dreams.
Right.
They become then you can see that they're becoming a reality. But it starts with those little things that we throw money away at. And I realized, listen, I used to shop at Bed Bath & Beyond like nobody's business. I don't know what it was, but it was my spot.
They got them coupons be hitting, man. Them coupons be hitting too hard.
The coupons coming in the mail. Oh my God, they used to get me, man, because I don't know if your viewers know. Listen, I'm gonna tell you guys a little tip if you don't know. Those coupons, they never expire. They never expire. And one day, randomly, I go into the store again, shopping. I brought the coupons with me, and I was like, oh man, that one expired. And then the cashier was like, listen, she was like, we can still scan it. It doesn't matter. They never expire. They just have the date. And if you know, they have the date because it'll be like, say, a week or 2 weeks from when they send it to you because they want to make sure you go shopping. That's the whole point. They're trying to get you back in there again. So, I learned, like I said, I was used to go all the time, do towels and all sorts of little decorations for the house all the time. Until I realized I don't need to decorate and change everything all the time. I'm throwing money because I was literally throwing hundreds of dollars away every paycheck. And I was like, what am I doing? And then I'm struggling with the next paycheck along with my credit cards. And now I'm swiping the credit card because I'm running out of money. Just about more. For what?
Cycle.
A cycle.
Yeah,
and that's when you realize, okay, wait, I can still, right? And I still go shopping. I actually just went the other day to Bed Bath & Beyond, but now I go less often. And then I really think about, do I really, really want this? Right? And if I buy this, is this going to take away from something else? If it's not, then cool. But if it's going to take away from something else, and this is my dream over here, then it's not worth it, because the dream is more worth it to me than anything else. And that's the way, that's what I would tell people. What is more worth it to you? That's how you have to think about it. It's always attainable. You just have to think on a daily basis. What are those little things you can do to make it attainable?
Right. So somebody said, oh, this is a great interview. Thank you, Mr. C. Love. Love, bro. But also I think when it comes to goals, it depends, because like there's long-term goals, right? So like something like, a big trip. Let's just say you want to go to take a 2-week trip to Fiji, right? I don't know if you've ever looked it up. But it ain't Miami. Yeah. It ain't Miami. Like, it's not just going and just buying a ticket. Yeah. It's like you might say, oh, okay, I gotta save a little bit for this one. Like, it's different, right? There's levels to it. Or you want to get a car, or like your dream car, or whatever it is, right? Sometimes you can actually say, you know what? This might be in 3 years. Yes. I might want to do this, right? So imagine saving for 3 years towards your dream car, or you might make it a 5-year, whatever it is. But it's like, you know what? I want to go to Fiji. This is how much it costs. How many months is it going to take me to put a little bit away that I won't blow my budget, right? To get to this number. Now the problem is most of us want to, I guess, it's human. We want to just go like now. Yes, and we want to go in like a month or two. Everybody wants to get flown out, like are you seeing that? You know what I'm talking about, right? So, but that wants to happen now, right? But when it comes to these big purchases and these big things, like you talk about dreams and stuff like that, your dream car, your dream vacation, you may not can go on your dream vacation this year. You might can go in maybe 3 years, like when things are better, right? You might can just afford to go to Miami, and there's nothing wrong with that, or Atlanta, or South Carolina, right? Like you might just go over there. I have to do that whenever I say that. Like it just reminds me of something. But like that might be the moves that you have to make. Yeah. Right. But there's also a shame in that too, because people will say things to you like, "Oh, like I'm not traveling domestically like that. Like if I'm not going international, I don't want it." Like so there's a lot of shame to that, and which forces a lot of people to be like, oh, you know what? No, like I have to keep up with
So yeah.
everybody else
Yeah.
because there's a shame that's attached with that. If somebody says, "Oh, where you going?" I'm going, "Oh, I'm going to Myrtle." Man, why are you going to Myrtle? Like, they don't have clear blue
They don't.
water, like stuff like that. They don't have clear blue water like we out here in Jamaica and all and feed. You know what I mean? And it's just like, man, all right, I just want to quick get away to Myrtle, like, you know that. And if that's what your budget can call for, and you can still get away, man, there's no shame in that. Do it
Exactly.
because you're still building your like you're still building you and you're still building your empire. And one day they may be looking at you while you out there in Fiji, and and now they might be in Miami, or they might be in Atlanta, or they might be somewhere in South Carolina, and like you know what I mean, like, and that's what they could afford. Like like tables turn all the time, right? And not everybody has the same time of just being put on and being successful and achieving their goals. Everybody's timeline is different.
Oh,
for some
yes.
people,
Yeah.
for some people, it could be 30. For some people, it could be 40. Right? But it works in reverse too. Like now, people have downfalls. Some people's downfalls could be in their 30s, and somebody else's could be doing great in their 30s. But then tides can turn, and now you're on a downfall at 40. Right. And now, and then so it's just like that's why the comparisons and the shame by trying to keep up with other people, it's just really, you just never know because your time is yet to come. You know what I'm saying? And while those same people that could be shaming you for certain things, their time to go on the back end is coming. They just don't see it yet because things happen. Like people's businesses, people lost businesses last year. Right? People lost their jobs last year. People that were making hundreds and thousands of dollars lost their jobs last year, right? And they were on a big high. Exactly, right? Like it's just things that there's ups and downs all around. You know what I'm saying? So to try to spend your time keeping up with people, it's wasted. You know what I'm saying? Because your time is coming on either end. Like nobody stays up forever and ever. Like there's always a downfall somewhere. Yeah, So with that said, it's pretty much gonna put a pin in it for this episode. But please, before we leave, I want people to know where they can find you and the services. That's the big things. I want you to really tell them about the services that you provide. If they want to get their life, their finances back on track, how can they book you? You know what I'm saying? Just give them all the information, please.
No problem. So you guys can find me at Plan Your One Life on Instagram. You can check out my website. The link is in my bio. If you just click on that, you'll see all my financial services. Like I said, I'm a financial coach, so I'm there to cheer you on and help you. I'm there to tell you the truth, all right? I'm not only there to cheer you on, but I'm also going to tell you the truth about your finances and what you're doing wrong, your bad habits, because sometimes that's what people need. They need the truth. They need somebody to finally tell them what they're doing wrong. And that is the whole point. That's why you're coming to me, because you know that you want to build that generational wealth. You want to become debt free. And this is the way that you're finally going to have to do it. So I'll be there, break down your budget and figure out how you have figure out where the extra money is. And this way we can start to put that money into things that will build you more wealth. So you can check out my services there. It's one-on-one coaching. Another place that you can find me is on YouTube. My YouTube channel is Plan Your One Life Personal Finance. And I have all sorts of personal finance videos on there that you can check out. And my Achiever Money Mindset Club is now located there. It's a private club. If you join that, we have private video live streams, and it's a support group so we can support one another. So that way you can also interact with other people that are also trying to find financial freedom. And like I said, you can join that group, sip on some wine, drink some lemonade, eat some snacks. Like I said, it's a relaxed group, but we're there to help each other out and figure out the different debt payoff strategies, how it can help you, because there may be different ways that you want to pay off your debt. There's not one way to pay off your debt. All right. You can enjoy today and also be ready and prepared for tomorrow. That's what I'm all about. So be sure to check me out. If you guys have any questions, feel free to DM me at Plan Your One Life on Instagram.
That is amazing. And listen, she's going to tell you the truth. She's a wife and a mother of four. She ain't going to have no problems telling you the truth.
No.
I promise you that's not going to be the case. And please don't be in her DMs talking about, can I get this service for free? Please. No, we're not doing that. She's not gonna tell you that. I'm gonna tell you that. Don't be on her DMs talk about, oh, can I get free this, free that? If you want to invest in your future, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Please invest in her business. This is her business. You know what I'm saying? Please don't say, oh, I'm coming from Terrence's Live and I want to get something for free. Please don't embarrass me like this. Please just go and inquire, see the services, see the value, invest in her, and she'll invest in you.
That's what
You know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to invest in you.
We're not doing no freebies in 2021 no more in 2022. I'm just saying. You know what I mean? We can do that with nonprofits and some other things, but listen, y'all got money for Starbucks, you got money to pay her too. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep it honest with y'all. I'm gonna tell like it is. It is what it is. So listen, thank you for doing this. I appreciate it. I know you just dropped a lot of gems for a lot of people and you helped a lot of people. This was free. So anything beyond this, you're out of luck. Yesterday's price is not today's price. You know what I'm saying? And that's a fact. You know what I'm saying? So please invest in her. She is amazing, Coach Britt. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you so much for letting me be here today. I appreciate it.
Awesome. All right, so we'll see you soon.
Okay, take care, guys.
All right, you can probably hit that button now. I'm probably gonna kick you out anyway, right? Yeah, listen, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Sarat, we're gonna be here same day. I don't know about the same time yet, but stay tuned. It's always gonna be a good show. Very informative. Gwen, I appreciate you. We're going to get on the call soon, Gwen, because we got to chop it up. We haven't even had a chance to talk, you know what I'm saying? But we're going to talk. B, bro, thank you. Appreciate you. Yo, it's your boy T-Till, Conversations of the Heart. Be sure to check me out, check this show out on all audio platforms. All audio podcast platforms will be available tomorrow, including YouTube, man. Yo.